5-Minute Pearls for Clinical Practice. Today's pearl is called Stay Updated. Hello, this is Dr. Brian Morris, and this is 5-Minute Pearls for Clinical Practice, where we teach you the tools to provide exceptional care for your patients. This is the weekly podcast where we introduce you to time-tested, evidence-based patient care strategies that aren't always taught in schools or training programs, but are nonetheless crucial for success in clinical practice. And we teach each lesson in about 5 minutes. Today's pearl is called Stay Updated. When most of us start out in clinical practice, we have a wealth of amazing information that we learned in school and in our training programs. There are few realities that most of us realize just a few months into our careers in practice. First, we realize that most of the information that we have learned will sadly be outdated in just 5 or 10 years. Yes, I hate to be the bearer of such bad news, but a lot of the physiology, a lot of the treatment regimens, a lot of the diagnostic testing protocols that we studied so intently will at least partly be adjusted over time as new studies are released and new modes of thinking take hold. So a lot of the things that we learned just a short period of time ago will no longer be considered true and accepted within just a few years. Most of us arrive in practice thinking that we've become experts on our given specialty, and all we need to do is tell our patients everything that we have learned. It's quite a surprise for most of us to realize just how quickly things change, especially in certain specialties like oncology, infectious disease, and some of the surgical specialties. Techniques change, treatment and diagnostic protocols change, and they change a lot quicker now than ever before. What I tell young health professionals is that this is simply something that we need to accept. The old cliche that if we're not moving forward, we are moving backwards has always been true, but nowadays it is especially true. The analogy that I would use is that this is similar to a computer. When we buy a new computer, we're usually amazed at how quickly it processes information, documents open and close at the blink of an eye. Everything seems to work seamlessly and effortlessly. However, about a year or so later, most computers will start to slow down a bit. Documents open and close a little slower. The computer will crash occasionally or need to be rebooted on a more consistent basis. After about 2 years, things get a lot slower and we need to update various programs on the computer. If we don't do that, things will not work well at all. And by year 3, some of the programs on the computer aren't working well at all. And we usually need to purchase new programs if we want to continue to use that trusty old computer. Being a healthcare professional is much this way. We emerge from our training program knowing a wealth of information, and our ability to process information and render treatment recommendations is usually quick and almost effortless in the first few months of practice. This is much like a new computer would be working. But after a year or two, we find that new treatments have emerged. Things have changed a bit in just a short period of time. The first time this happens, we're shocked. How could it be that so much has changed so quickly? But the sooner that we accept this reality, that information evolves very quickly, the sooner we will be able to adapt to this reality and adjust our educational goals and objectives to keep pace. How do we do this? First, accept that continuing medical education is a requirement for your career. Second, find ways to stay current in your specialty that fit well into your life and into your schedule. Perhaps you should attend an annual conference in your specialty. Many of these conferences are in scenic locations that can make the experience a bit more fun. If you live in a major metro area or near a major university, there may be conferences right near your home. Perhaps you can find an online educational program like Medscape, which includes wonderful updated CME programs that can make staying up to date fit around your busy schedule. Perhaps you'll start using online or app-based programs such as UpToDate, or other similar programs that summarize a wealth of journal articles into concise summary articles that bring the latest advances right to the clinic or right to the bedside. Perhaps you'll subscribe to the top journals or journal summary publications in your field and do your very best to read the pertinent articles each week. With digital media, there are many tools available to tag and clip the important articles that you notice and want to read. These tools, such as Evernote, allow us to mark important articles that we want to read so that we have them labeled and sorted and organized for when we have the time to sit down and read them. Or perhaps you'll explore the many different apps that have now appeared over the last few years to see which of them could help you to find and read the latest articles in your chosen field. Fortunately, there are so many different ways to stay updated nowadays. Try to find the ways that fit best into your schedule and how you learn. We all learn differently and all have different work and personal situations, but the key is to find the ways that work best for you. And once you find those ways, integrate those processes into your schedule so that you can be just as updated 5 or 10 years into your career as you were the day you arrived in practice. Let's keep the dialogue going. Let me know what you think of this week's Pearl for Clinical Practice to stay updated. You can email me at drmorris@5minutemd.com. That's DRMORRIS at 5minutemd.com. You can post your comments and your experiences on the 5 Minute MD Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter at BrianMorrisMD. And you can visit us anytime on our website, 5minutemd.com. Let your friends and your colleagues know about the podcast and make sure that you are subscribed on iTunes. When you are subscribed on iTunes, you will receive new podcast pearls as soon as they are posted. And if you have a few minutes and you enjoy what we're doing here on this podcast, please head over to iTunes and leave us a review. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you at the next 5.